Hello, everyone. Welcome to the StreamYard 101 webinar. I'm so excited to be doing this today. My name's Gage, and I'm one of the founders of StreamYard. And today, we're basically just going to be walking through everything you need to know about StreamYard and how to get the most out of the product. I can see we have a ton of people joining in today from all over the world, which is really cool. Thank you guys for introducing yourselves and telling us where you're tuning in from. If you let me know like a bit about like how you plan on using live streaming and what kind of business you have, if you are a business owner, that might be helpful to give you a bit of context and what might be good to cover. I know you guys are busy folks, so we'll try to make the tutorial really quick and effective, and have lots of time for questions at the end, because I know that's often the most valuable part for people. But before we dive into that. First of all, what is StreamYard? Some of you might be brand new to the product, so we can start with a very general overview of what it actually is. So StreamYard is a live production tool in your browser, and our whole goal is to make it really easy to use. It's meant to be the easiest tool out there, and it's great too because most of the work happens on StreamYard's computers rather than your own computer. So if you have like a low power Chromebook or laptop, you can still have a great experience because most of that processing happens on StreamYard's equipment. Oh, wow. There's people from all over the world, from Mumbai. Very cool. Wendy Kaplan is an interviewer and a host. Someone tuning in from Kuwait. And then also let's start with some motivation about why you should actually live streaming. That's probably the best place to start before we actually walk through how to use it. And I think the number one thing, at least that I hear from people about why they use StreamYard, is for content marketing. So content marketing is a very effective form of marketing, and that's why you see it everywhere, right? You see every company doing blog posts, every company doing podcasts, tons of people doing live videos, and that's because content marketing is an effective form of marketing. And that's essentially what I'm doing now, right? So kind of meta, but that's the whole purpose of this webinar. It's a form of content marketing to teach you guys how to use StreamYard and activate new users. And you can use this yourself, right? And it's live streaming as a form of content marketing. It personally, in my opinion, is one of the best forms of content marketing because it's super time effective. So I don't know if you've ever tried to create a static video on YouTube or create a podcast, but you spend a tremendous amount of time editing and changing things after the fact. Whereas with live streaming, if you're knowledgeable about your particular space or subject, you can create very good content in a very short amount of time. Which is great. And it's in some ways, it's even better content because people appreciate the authenticity and how real it feels when things are happening right now. And I know one common concern that comes up is, Gage, I don't have any followers. What's the point of live streaming? No one's going to watch my live stream. And that's definitely a valid question. It used to be more of a concern because the way the algorithms on Facebook and YouTube used to work is it just basically was very simple. If you had 1 million people following your page, 1 million people would see your broadcast. But that's no longer the case. So the algorithms on those platforms change significantly. So now if you have a page with a 1 million followers, it doesn't mean 1 million people are going to see that content because Facebook and YouTube are now prioritizing engagement and watch time. So if you're just starting out, even if you don't have anyone following your page, Facebook and YouTube will sort of test the waters with your content and show it out to a few people and see like, how long are people watching the content? Are they reacting to the content? Are they commenting? And if they are, they'll show it to more people, and then you can organically grow that way. And that's a huge part of how we grew StreamYard. So for anyone there that doesn't really know the story of StreamYard, we started back in, the site actually went live October of 2018. And live streaming was a huge part of our growth. We did our very first live stream January of 2019. And back then we only had about 100 monthly broadcasters, but we stuck with it. And every single week we did a live stream. We're now on episode 71 of the StreamYard Live Town Hall. It's basically, we just do a Q&A every week. And now we're all the way up to, we now have 150,000 monthly active broadcasters. And live streaming was a huge part of that because we showed up for users every single week. We do a Q&A and engage with them. And your strategy with live streaming will vary. So like we're a SaaS company, so that's a bit unique. So you might, if you have a SaaS company, I'd highly recommend you doing that, to do a live Q&A where you engage with your users and get feedback on the direction of your product. But your strategy will vary for what you do. So say you're a consultant, you're probably going to have a different. You're obviously you don't have features you're building out. So I'd probably focus more on maybe having a guest and an expert to talk about a particular subject or answer questions about a particular topic. Let me just check the comments here to make sure everyone can hear me fine and it's all going well. It looks like we're good. Thanks for all the comments. So let's dive into. Actually, I'll answer this. I'll answer most of the questions at the end. But yeah, if you guys have any questions that come up as you watch the stream, just drop them into the comment section, and I'll try to address everything at the end. But just to quickly answer that one, how would you suggest to collect emails? There's tons of great options out there. So I'd recommend you start with a CRM, something like MailChimp or Drip or one of those. And most of those have a really easy landing page builder where during your live stream, you can share the link to say like, hey, if you're enjoying this content, you want to learn more, go to this particular link. And lead magnets are generally a good idea. So it's like maybe you'll be doing a live stream on a particular subject, and like if you want my guide, my 12 steps on how to do this, go to this link and download my guide, and that's how you collect the email. So let's jump into the actual tutorial here. Let me just share my screen, and I will full screen it for all of you. There, oh, it already is full screen. There we go. So this is the StreamYard dashboard. If you're watching this webinar, you most likely, at some point, you must have logged in successfully because we were able to email you about this webinar. But in case you forgot, it's super easy to log into StreamYard. You just go to StreamYard.com, and you'll be prompted to enter your email. One unique thing about StreamYard is it doesn't actually have passwords. We just email a login code each time. There are a few benefits to this. One of those is security. So it has to be more secure, because anytime when you if you're not giving your site your password to a site, it has to be more secure, because it's not possible for the site to lose the password, right? And then there's some other nice things, like it makes it easier if you want to have multiple people log into the account without having to give them your personal information, like your password. It makes that a bit easier as well. But anyway, you'll log in, you'll get an email code and enter the code. And then once you've done that, you'll be on the page I'm at now. So the first thing you'll want to do is connect a destination. So we have lots to choose from. So these are the ones I already have connected. I do a lot of testing, so I have a lot of destinations connected. You probably would not have that many connected. But here is where if you go to the add a destination section, here's where you can connect the various destinations. And these are the places where you actually will send your live stream to. So for example, that includes things like Facebook pages, LinkedIn profiles, YouTube channels, everything you see listed here. I find that the most popular ones seem to be Facebook pages and YouTube channels, but every once in a while I do see people utilizing some of the more unique ones like custom RTMP. One cool way I've seen that used is sometimes for larger companies, they'll have their own streaming infrastructure and basically use the custom RTMP to send StreamYard to their own infrastructure and use that as part of like a larger show that they're doing. I'm guessing that doesn't apply to most of the people here, but if it does, let me know and we can talk a bit about that. So for this demo, I'm going to go ahead and connect a Facebook page. So I'll just click the Facebook page option, and you'll be prompted to give some permissions for Facebook. I know some people often get a bit confused by this or concerned that StreamYard is going to post without them knowing about that, but that's not the case. It's the permissions so StreamYard can actually create the posts on your behalf, but you will always have control over what you post. It's just the permissions so StreamYard can actually create the post when you click the button on StreamYard, if that makes sense. So you just go ahead and click the Connect Facebook button. If you've never connected in the past, you'll have an extra prompt that with just one extra box, but it's fairly simple. You'll just click that before coming here. And for this demo, I'll connect a sample page. So let's click sample page. So the destination's now connected, and it'll be listed in my destinations section. Right now, we're actually seeing the broadcast page. So it's because I'm doing a live stream on StreamYard while also being live on StreamYard. You can see that this is the one I'm doing now, and it's already live. So I won't actually be entering this one because it would be a bit confusing, because you'd see me, you'd be seeing two of me essentially. But so for this demo, we'll be creating a new one. So let's go ahead and click the Create a Broadcast button. And at the top here, you'll see all the destinations you have connected. This is the sample page destination that I just connected. So one of the most popular features of StreamYard is the ability to multi-stream. So if you want to go live to say like Facebook, YouTube, and LinkedIn all at the same time, you can do that. I would recommend, oftentimes people jump into that really quickly. I would recommend starting with just one, especially if you've never live streamed before. If you've never done a live stream before, oftentimes people get a bit overwhelmed by all the different options out there and all the things to learn. So if you're just starting out, I'd keep things simple and just go to a single destination and focus on being consistent and growing your following on that single destination. And then once you've done that, once you're feeling comfortable, that's when I would consider maybe deciding like if adding another destination like YouTube or something makes sense. And when deciding, what destinations you want to go live to, I think the number one thing to keep in mind is where is your audience? So if you're a business owner, where the people who are going to actually be buying your products, where are they going to be watching? Is it going to be Facebook? Is it going to be LinkedIn? That's how I'd make that decision. I know LinkedIn is very popular if you're in sort of the B2B space or if you're a consultant of some kind. So just for this demo, I'll be going to this sample page destination. So I just click it there. And I'll also go ahead and show you guys how multi-streaming works by selecting my YouTube channel as well. So you can see here, you'll have the option to give a title and a description. So I'll just keep it simple by saying example and example again. Scheduling is a great option. And I recommend that you schedule every stream that you do because this will create unique posts on the platforms that you can use to promote the stream beforehand. So on Facebook, you can schedule streams up to 7 days in advance. And this is great because if you have like a important show coming up where you have like a high profile guest or a topic that you've spent a lot of time researching and you want to make sure that you get the return on investment for the time you put in, it's really important that you schedule that post and that you can use that post link to promote it out to your email list or whoever else you want to share that link with beforehand. So I'll select the schedule for later option. I'm just going to leave the time as is, but obviously you'll want to choose the correct time. And then you'll see this option that says customize for each destination. So basically this will just let you, if you say want to have a slightly different description on YouTube, you could just click YouTube there and say, maybe this is example YouTube. Sometimes maybe your call to action will be slightly different on a different platform. And then once everything is good, you just click create broadcast. And this will generate those posts that we talked about. So there we go. We have our example stream here. And there's a few important things we should chat about in the more section here. So if I click more, you can see that there's various options here. The most important ones are invite a guest and view on Facebook and YouTube. So invite a guest is what you'll use to actually bring people into your StreamYard studio and into the stream itself. So you do not want to share that link out publicly, right? If you share that link out publicly, you could just be having anyone join your stream, and that's probably not what you want. I know some people do that, particularly on YouTube, like YouTube community streams. But if you want to stay safe, you probably don't want to do that because you never really know who's going to join your stream. It's these links down here that say view on Facebook and view on YouTube. These are the links that you do want to share. And those are the links that your audience will go to actually watch the stream. So let's go ahead and enter the broadcast studio. You always see a tip there that just gives us a suggestion about how to get the most out of your live streams. You can see me again. So it's kind of confusing. I've got my StreamYard on the left and my demo on the right. So first thing you'll have to enter your display name. So it could be anything you want, but let me just add my last name so you understand how it works. And of course, you want to make sure your mic's working. And you can tell by that bar moving there. If you want to change anything, you can do that with this cogwheel option here. And this is where you could select if you wanted to use a different camera, you could choose that here. Or if you wanted to select a different microphone, you'll want to make sure you have the correct speaker option as well. So we have this test button and you can click test to make sure you can hear it. If you have the wrong speaker selected, you won't be able to hear your guests. So it's important to keep that in mind. I'm seeing lots of questions here, so I'll address all of them at the end, guys. Thank you so much for all the questions. I appreciate it. And then you also have the green screen option if you want to use a virtual background. You do have to actually have a physical green screen to use that. So everything looks good. So let's exit out of that, and I'll go ahead and enter the broadcast studio. So the first thing you'll see is you are not part of the stream yet. Click to add your audio and video. So surprisingly, I do see this mistake made quite a bit is people will go live and they'll be like, why is my stream just a black box? And the reason for that is this black box represents everything that's part of the stream. So the first thing you'll need to do is add yourself, click to add yourself to the stream, and that will bring your audio and video into the broadcast. Same with your guests. When you invite a guest, they'll appear as a tile down here, and you'll have to click them to add them into the broadcast. I'm actually going to invite Dana into this broadcast. She'll be helping me out in just a minute here. But before I do that, I'll just walk you through some of the basics on the right. So the first thing we have is the comments section. So one of the most popular features of StreamYard is you can click to show comments on screen. So I can actually, I'll go back to the studio I'm actually live in right now. I can show you, like this is a comment we have from the actual stream. The ARC says, can you simulcast to 2 different Facebook pages? Yes, you can. You can simulcast to whatever destination you like. Simulcasting to 2 Facebook pages is an interesting option. I would consider just streaming to one and sharing it to the other page. But if you do want to create 2 unique streams, you can do that. So that's the comment section. Comments from all the platforms as well. I know sometimes people are worried that they'll only get comments from a certain platform. Comments from, since I'm going to Facebook and YouTube, comments from both of those platforms would appear in this section, and I can show them all on screen like this. Next, we have the banners section, which these are great for showing lower thirds or calls to action. So as you can see, we have folders. So this is nice for organizing things. So as you can see, I've got my webinar folder, which is what I'm using for the live stream I'm doing now. And then this Gauge V1 is the one I just generally use, but I'll show you guys the webinar banners. So banners, like I said, you can type them out at any time. It's fully dynamic, and they're great for, like, say you want to get for a call to action. Say you want people to go to a particular link or a particular website to subscribe to your email list. This is a great solution for that. So, and you can just click to add them on screen. So I was talking about earlier, why should you live stream? I can just click to show that there. To add a new one, you just do click the create a banner option. You can just type one out. You can see there's this checkbox here to turn it into a ticker, which is another popular option. So I'll check that so you can see how that works, and then click add banner. And if I click to show that one on screen, you can see that it scrolls across the bottom there. Tickers are nice for just basically like a recurring call to action that you don't want to have to be constantly saying. Like maybe if you want people to follow you on Twitter or something like that. I know that's a popular option. Next, we have the brand section. I'm actually, just because I have everything organized here, I'm going to be going to the webinar brand section. So I guess I should, oh wait, no, sorry, am I on the right one? No, I'll go to my Gauge V1. So I guess I should explain that option there. So in the brand section, you can organize things in different brands. When you're first starting out, you probably don't want to worry about it because you probably only have one brand. But I know that's a popular option for people that are maybe working with multiple companies or do multiple things themselves, where, okay, I have a bookstore, and I also have, my consulting pages, and maybe I have a particular set of assets for my bookstore, a particular set of assets for my consulting page. That's a great way to organize it up here. You can just switch between brands and make new brands. So first things first, we have the brand color. Let me just pop a banner back up so you can see how that looks. Why should you live stream? So the brand color allows you to you probably want to choose a color that represents your brand, whatever that color is. So for StreamYard, it's obviously green and blue, but say your brand is red, you can just choose red and it will change there. And you have 2 different themes to choose from. So the default theme is a bit larger and more prominent, which I actually find most people prefer the minimal theme, but they're both great. They're both great themes, and we'll be adding more in the future as well. Next, we have the logo section. So this is obviously our own logo, but if you're on the paid version of StreamYard, you can choose to upload your own. And some people don't know this, but they can actually be GIFs. So here's an example of a GIF logo. It's a bit dizzying. I should have chosen a better example, but if you want to make it a GIF, you can. I don't know if I'd recommend that, just because it can be a bit distracting for your audience, but I have seen subtle ones that work well. Next, we have the overlays section. So overlays can be used to sort of brand. Here, let me hide the banner so you can see it more easily. The overlay section can be used to either show pictures on screen or just to add additional branding to your broadcast that's customized. And another option is videos. So if you want to share a video clip in the middle of your stream, that's actually how I did. I'll show it here. That's actually how I did the intro for this stream. Is I clicked is I uploaded a countdown video, and those countdown videos are popular for introducing your streams. And then a quick note on the format, like if you want it to only cover parts of the screen, you'll want to use the transparent PNG option. So you'll upload a 1280 by 720, and then whatever sections you want to be transparent, you'll want to make sure that in whatever editing program you're using, whether that's Photoshop or Canva, you'll want to make sure it's on a transparent canvas. If you want more information about that, I can share a link at the end that has some tutorials about how to actually make these. Another cool option that people often don't know about is you can actually upload GIFs as well if you wanted to show a GIF on screen. Again, my dimensions for this GIF are wrong, which is why I have the corners showing. But if you make it 1280 by 720, it will cover the whole screen. And at the very bottom, we have the background section. So I'll be able to show you how this works when I bring Dana on. Actually, I'll send her the invite link now so she has time to join. I guess let me explain that really quick. So yeah, at the bottom here, we talked about this link earlier in the under the more section, but you also see it directly in the studio. Logan says, will the streamed content be recorded to use afterwards? Yes, if you guys want the link after, it's an unlisted YouTube video. So I'll share the link with you if you want to share it out beforehand. I know we're covering a lot of information in a short amount of time. So let me just send the invite link to Dana. So yeah, you just click this invite button. And again, you'll want to invite guests. I always recommend inviting guests probably 10 to 15 minutes before you actually start the live stream. And that way, if your guest does have any issues with like having the wrong mic selected or the wrong speaker selected, you'll have time to troubleshoot that with them and get everything sorted, as opposed to, joining like right when the broadcast starts. And they can join these at any time. So that's another question that comes up quite a bit is like say several days before the live stream. If you just want to come in here and get things organized and test things with your guest, that's totally fine. So click invite, and you can see there's the option to just copy to the clipboard. So if you just want to copy it and send it over like Facebook Messenger or Slack, that's a great option. I'm just going to be using Gmail. I'm just going to send Dana an email really quick. This is open on another tab, so you're not actually seeing me send the email, but I am sending it right now. And there we go. Just sent it. So Dana will be joining me in just a second here. Let me close out of this, and then we'll be able to show how the backgrounds work. And the final option is show display names. So if you don't want your guest name and your own name showing, you can turn that off, and then you can see the entire screen. Next, we have the private chat. So this is for talking to your guests inside the studio. So say, maybe Dana has something in her teeth or something, and I want to tell her that privately. I would use the private chat for that. And Dana has just joined us, so we can demo that really quick. So I click to add Dana on screen. You're not actually going to hear Dana because she's in the demo studio and not my actual studio. I know it's a bit confusing since we're doing a stream within a stream. But so as you can see, you just click to add Dana, and we can use the different layout buttons here. So if we want to be side by side with like sort of this CNN style layout, we can do that. We could also have it where Dana's full screen, but you can still hear me in the background, or have it where I'm full screen. But as you can see, if we're in this layout, you can see the background section. So this is just one I've uploaded, but you can make it anything you want. If you wanted to have, this is obviously a pretty simple background, but if you wanted to have something more dramatic, like a city or something, I've seen people get really creative with that. And then there's also our default background there. While Dana's here, it'll be convenient for me to show some of the moderation options. So sometimes people forget to leave the studio, especially if you're having lots of guests coming in and out. So you do have the option to actually remove them from the stream like completely out of the studio. One important distinction to make though is what constitutes the studio itself and what is outside the studio. So of course I can remove Dana from the stream at any time, and she's still at the bottom here. But say I want to make room for other guests, I can kick her out completely by clicking the three dots down here and clicking the kick or ban from studio option. I don't want to ban Dana, so I'll just be using the kick option. So goodbye, Dana. Thank you so much for helping us do that little demo. So Dana is now kicked. The ban option is if you do not want the person ever joining the broadcast again. And again, that should never be an issue if you're only sharing the link out with people you trust. It's only an issue if you're just randomly sharing the link out, in which case you'll want to turn on, we have this option called, I can show it really quick. If you go to the settings, and go to guests, you have this option to say guests must authenticate, and that requires guests to log in with Facebook or YouTube, and that therefore allows you to ban them on an account basis. But again, that's entirely optional. One of our main goals with StreamYard was to make sure that everything was super easy for your guests. So we don't require a login. We don't, unless you turn that on, we don't require a login. It's meant that they just click the link and join. We just offer that in case you are doing some bit more unique streams where you have maybe people from a particular community coming in and out. And if you have someone problematic, you can ban them. And I think that it essentially covers all the branding options in the stream. I'm not actually going to go live because I don't want two streams going on and random people being confused about why I'm live in all these different places. But when you're ready to go live for your scheduled stream, you'll just click this go live button. And you can always start early, but you don't want to start late. So Facebook automatically deletes streams if you're later than 10 minutes. So make sure you start either early or on time. And you can also always edit these at any time. So if for whatever reason you decide, you know what, I don't actually want to go to Facebook, you can always remove that. So I think that that covers everything in the studio. I'm just going to go back to the dashboard so you can get a sense of what things look like there. I didn't cover the past broadcast section. So once you're done your broadcast, you'll see it in the past broadcasts section. So I do broadcasts all the time. So there's obviously a lot going on here. But say this was the broadcast I did. In the more section, you have the option to download the recording. So if I click that, you'll see the option that you can download the entire recording or the audio only. So the entire recording obviously includes the video and the audio. The audio only option is popular with people who would like to do repurposing type things. So again, I think the important thing, especially if you're brand new to streaming, is to just start really simple. So I wouldn't worry about repurposing until you've sort of gotten in your groove and have been streaming for a while. But once you have, it is nice to be able to make your content go further, essentially. So if you have a weekly live stream, you can now have a weekly podcast by downloading that audio file and uploading it to a podcast host like Libsyn or Podbean or one of those. That's the past broadcast section. And then if you ever want to add more destinations, you can obviously go back to the destination section and click add a destination. And again, you'll be shown the various options there. So I'm going to go back to me now and just start answering your guys' questions. So yeah, I'm happy to answer any questions you guys have. That gives the general overview of everything you need to know about how to use the studio. Hopefully it was helpful there. See, we have a ton of comments, so it'll take me a bit to get through all of them, but I'll do my best. Let's see here. Bob says, I know there's a maximum of 6 to a broadcast screen, but can I have additional participants held in the queue below the screen in gray? Yes, absolutely. So that's correct. The limit on screen is 6, but you can have 10 in the studio itself. So say you wanted 10 people to participate in a stream, they can all join that studio and you can cycle them in and out. I know that's a popular thing where someone's doing a bunch of interviews. They'll bring on the first interviewee and they'll talk, and then they'll remove them from the stream and the next person will come on. So to answer your question, yes, you can have 10 in the queue, and then people can leave at any time as well. So if someone's done with their segment, they can leave the studio, and then that obviously opens up a spot for someone else to join the queue. The ARC says, is it possible for anyone with administrator access to our Facebook page to stream through it via StreamYard? Yes, any admin can connect and stream to the page. It works exactly like Facebook. So if the person is able to go live using like the Facebook native tool on your page, they'll be able to do it on StreamYard. And then the follow-up question: do they need to log in through your own StreamYard account or your StreamYard account rather, or their own? So either would work. So if they want to have their own StreamYard account and stream to that page, they can connect it on their own StreamYard account. I know some people do just like to share accounts, and that's totally fine as well. It's especially popular when someone wants multiple people to be able to manage the studio. So and the way that works is you'd essentially go to the login page and log in with the same email that the person who owns the account has, and then you'll have to ask the person who owns the account to send you that one-time code. And then you'll both be logged in as the host and have the ability to show comments and basically help produce the stream. Adrian says, how do we put a video in our stream? So hopefully I covered that at some point during the tutorial, but you have two options. So the the best option, in my opinion, is if your video is under 5 minutes in length, is to upload it as a overlay, and you just do that in the overlay section that we covered in the brand section, and then you'll be able to just click to play it. And it will work just like how I did the countdown video, and that allows you to say, I know one popular way people use it is say they had a guest that couldn't make it. Say they had a guest that couldn't make it live, but they were able to record their segment separately. You could upload that segment as an overlay and play it in the middle of your stream. Bob says, what does the disable audio box really do? That's a good question. So that's an important option for musicians. So if anyone missed it, in the settings under audio, there's a checkbox that says disable audio processing. So if you're a musician, that's a good option to use, because basically it removes, StreamYard does some additional processing on the broadcast to account for things like if you're not wearing headphones. So that processing will stop things like echo, and if you had like a fan going on in the background, it will cancel that out. But if you have a good audio setup that's in a controlled environment, you can get better quality sound when that extra processing isn't running. So if that just turns off that additional processing and allows a musician to get slightly better sound quality. Mario says, to put a video, you can share a Chrome tab with YouTube video and audio. Yes, I actually forgot to mention that I was talking about the overlay section. But yes, another option is to just use the screen share option. And when you click screen share, you'll have the option to choose a Chrome tab with a box that says share audio. And that's a great way to share a YouTube video or something like that. Barry says, will StreamYard support a regular login password rather than the mailback so multiple members of our stream can use the account? Yeah, well, you can actually do it, Barry, just by sharing that code out, and it doesn't automatically log you out. It works sort of like Facebook, where once you're in, you're in. As long as you sort of are regularly using StreamYard, you won't be logged out. But I know that team accounts are a popular feature request, and it's something we're looking into. Yes. What else do we have here? Caesar says Dana is a big help. Yes, Dana is awesome. What else do we have here? Caesar says, question, can you talk about how to produce someone else's show? Yeah, hopefully I covered a bit about that. But basically you'd have, say you're the person who wants someone else to produce the show. You'd have them log in with your email. You'd tell them the code that's sent to you, and that will allow them to enter your broadcast studio and control the show for you, which I know is nice. Something that would probably help me right now is to have someone sort of helping you find what the ideal questions are to talk about, or be controlling the brand banners and comments. So I definitely understand how that can be useful. What else do we have here? Logan says, will the StreamYard content be recorded for use as a video later after the live event? Yes, you can. For this particular webinar, I think I talked about that earlier. Yes, it's an unlisted YouTube stream. I'll share the link, Logan, so that you can share it out with anyone you want to see it. P7 says, can we create a live poll for the audience to vote for? So we don't have any direct integrations with polling at this time, partly because a lot of the platforms don't actually have live polling features like YouTube, but it's something we're exploring. If you do want to do live polls, there are lots of great third-party softwares out there for that. One good one is Straw Poll. So basically what you could do is just share your screen with a straw poll and then just share that link with your audience, and that would allow them to do a poll. Caesar, Dana wasn't co-producing. She was just joining as a guest for an example. Michael says, why the password takes so long to come in when I want to log in? Michael, that's most likely due to your mail server. If you're using your own mail server rather than a Gmail, the time it takes could be dependent on that. If you need any help with that. And again, that's a good point for anyone watching. If you ever need help with anything, we have a live support team who's always out there to help you, and they love live streaming and they love helping you guys. And you can contact them by just going to streamyard.com/contact. You can find it in the dashboard on the top right as well. There's a contact button, and that will open up a live chat with them, and they can help you troubleshoot. Colin says, where can we create a logo or overlay? So the most popular program I see people using is Canva. It's really easy to use and allows you to create images and videos, and it has a lot of features. So I definitely check that one out. I know it's a good solution. Another sort of surprising option that I actually like quite a bit is Google Slides. I know it doesn't sound like it would be for creating logos or overlays, but if you already have a logo that you want to use, you can use Google Slides to make a transparent canvas and create an overlay from that. If that's something you want to learn more about, Colin, I can share a video for that as well. Adrian, that's very kind of you. Thank you so much. What else do we have here? Beautifully Made says, I've seen broadcasts where the layout changes as the broadcast is going on. Is there a way to do that automatically, or can it only be done by whoever is producing the broadcast? It's all done manually. But you can, like you said, have someone co-producing with you. And then that way, if you don't want to be clicking the layouts, you can have them controlling the layouts. We've considered doing something where it's automatic, sort of like how Hangouts used to work. But the problem with those is they're never perfect. So there's always a bit of a delay when someone starts talking and what you want the layout to actually show. So I think it is nicer to have someone, whether it's you or someone co-producing, actually controlling that. I think someone on here asked earlier if mobile was an option. So guests can join on mobile. So if you have a guest joining on iPad or Android phone, that's totally an option. And they can join you just by clicking that link. On iPhone, they'll join in Safari. And on Android, it will be in the Chrome browser. We do not support hosting from mobile at this time, but I know that's a really popular request, and it's something that will likely come soon, the ability to actually go live directly from the phone. The only reason we don't have it now is that there's sort of a lot of options and features in the studio. So there's only so much room on a phone screen, but it's a very popular request, so it's something that will likely come soon. This looks amazing. Can I get paid to do this for people? Thanks, Screenplay. I'm not sure if I fully understand the question, but if you're asking like how to monetize a stream, some of the popular ways people do that is they already have a business or a product, and the live stream is just like I talked about earlier, a form of content marketing to promote that product or service. The other one that I see people having a lot of success with is affiliate marketing. So say there's some product you use that you really enjoy, that you want to promote, you can basically do live tutorials or live videos and then make money off of a affiliate link. That's a great option. Lots of people asking for the link. Yes, don't worry. I'll send a link at the end. You can actually, I'll send it in the comment section and you'll be able to share it out. So don't worry about that. I think I've covered most of the questions here, and we're a bit over time. So yeah, thank you guys so much for tuning into this webinar. I'll check back to see if I missed any important questions. Hopefully Dana, if you're still in the chat, maybe you can help me out too with answering anything I missed. I will address, there's two more here that I see that I missed that I'll address really quickly. What about using Instagram? So Instagram right now doesn't have an API. The technical term is API. Basically, they don't allow third-party people to stream to Instagram. It's possible to do it anyway, but we want to make sure that we're compliant with Instagram's policies and that we don't get any of our users in trouble. So we don't allow it as a destination. If that ever changes, we will certainly add Instagram. Courtney says, what if your videos are longer than 5 minutes? Yes, if they're longer than 5 minutes, you can't upload them as an overlay, but you can use the screen share option. So there's a long document on that that walks through all the steps in our help docs. And I can link that to you, Courtney, if it'd be helpful. But basically, you can open up the video with Chrome and then share that tab with audio. And that's a great way to share that. There's also other options coming soon that we're working on that will make it easier to share PDFs and longer videos that don't actually require screen sharing or the overlay section. So you have that to look forward to. See a couple of people asking about 1080. 1080 is on the roadmap. Coveo says, how is public chat handled? Does StreamYard handle that part of the streaming destination? And can this tie into Marketo or Salesforce? So yes, StreamYard, basically StreamYard retrieves it from the destination. So if you're going live to LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook, StreamYard will get the comments from those destinations and all of them will show in the studio and you can manage it there. We don't currently have any integrations with companies like Salesforce, but feel free to tell us more about that, Coveo. Hopefully I'm saying your name right, because we're always interested in creating integrations that help people. So the best place for that would be just shoot us an email, contact@streamyard.com with a bit more information about what you'd like to see there, and maybe we can build something there. All right. I think that covers most of it. And again, I'll double check to make sure I cover anything I missed. But thank you guys so much for tuning in. This was so much fun, and I hope it was useful. I think we had over 150 people watching, which is pretty cool. And yeah, if you guys need more information or you need more help, feel free to contact us anytime by just going to StreamYard.com/contact, and there's a live chat button there where our support folks can help you out. And with that said, I will close things out here with I'll show one last outro video just so you guys can see how that works, and that will be the end of our webinar. Thank you guys so much.